Hi there, my name is Jalehsadat Mahdavimoghaddam and I'm here to present our paper on the congruence between online social content and future IT skill demand. I'm presenting this on behalf of my colleagues Niranjan, Krishnaswamy and Ebrahim Bagheri. We're living in a time that technologies like automation, artificial intelligence, and big data have increased productivity, but it also has a significant impact on the labor market, in-demand skills, and jobs. For example, number of people who work in manufacturing is decreased when you compare the number to 1997. Also, many low-skilled jobs are totally disappeared. And because of those reasons, it's really important to understand the future of work and the skills that become in demand in future. Here we take a quick look at the existing work in the future of work area. So the literature shows that in addition to new trends in the labor market, also the meaning of work is changed over the years. And it's because advancement of technology has changed work economy, and it has introduced new economical models like gig economy and sharing economy. And those reshape the concept of employment and job. So there's a rich literature that investigates technology-driven transformation of work and workplaces and new forms of work. So some of this new work is like a crowdsourcing and on-demand mobile work that refer to a series of tasks that are conducted by digital labor through a web-based platform like Amazon MTurk and software applications like Uber and Lyft. Other types of work is understanding the impact of technology and AI on workplace. For example, those works in the literature shows that future workstations will be more cognitive based. Workers will check in with face recognition technology and their gaze will be tracked to identify stress and anxiety. The last group is related to skill development and skill demand analysis. So mainly the focus of those works is creating tools that are developed to recommend new skills to learners, and they have different criteria. For example, it could be based on interpersonal and logical mathematical intelligence. Some of them could be based on the relationship between different skills by measuring how frequently workers provide different skills together, for example, in their LinkedIn profile or in their resume. Other researchers explored the importance of skill development outside of the office and organization through their personal connection that can be, for example, on social media like Reddit and Dribble. So one of the problems with the existing literature is that they mainly relies on historical recruitment data, such as just historical job listing or resume of people who already got a job. And they ignore the value that social media has in analyzing the future skills demand. And this is why social media is actually used widely to answer a variety of societal questions like mental health, nutrition, hate speech, but nothing related to job market. The other limitation of the existing approaches is that they overlook the relationship between variables that could potentially impact the labor market. So they're lacking providing insight on any of these changes in the labor market. So the main objective of our work is to understand if we can use social content coming from, for example, Reddit to determine what IT skill will become popular or in demand in future. So to tackle this objective, we have two research questions. The first one, if there's any relationship between the frequency of social content and future IT skill demands that are experienced in job postings. And the second one is, how can social content indicate the future of in-demand IT skills? To answer these questions, we develop our data set in 4 steps. In the first one, we collect 273 IT skills like Python, Java, or Linux as our seed nodes. And we collected them from a website called ESCO, which is short for European Skills, Competences, Qualifications, and Occupation website. In the second step, we use those collected skills in the first step to capture job postings that are posted in a variety of career platforms like Indeed. So we use the same seed nodes to collect posts that are shared on Reddit. These content is collected from October 1st, 2015 to July 1st, 2016. In the third step, we conduct pre-processing such as lowercasing, removing stop words, stemming, removing non-English content, and of course removing duplicated data. In the fourth step, we create time series for each data set. So we compute the weekly volume of the Reddit content and also the job postings around each IT skills. So there's a lot going on here that I strongly recommend that you visit the section 4 of our paper. We also cover more details on stationarity tests like ADF, KPSS tests, what those are, and how they can help you to prevent fabricated results. So in here, we're going to talk about our research question 1, which is finding the relationship between community activity and skill demands. So before we run our stationarity test and make our time series stationary, we first plot our time series to visually see what's going on. As you can see in these two left figures, which shows two time series for SAS and 2 for Django. One of them is for Reddit and the other one is for job postings. There's a constant demand over the course of 10 months from 2015 to 2016. However, this demand for machine learning and DevOps is constantly increasing. To mathematically measure this relationship between job market and social content, we calculate a cross correlation. So this relationship is calculated for time t, exactly the same time that they happen, up to 19 weeks. So in this figure, we show the weekly correlation between different skills that we collected from ESCO on Reddit and job posting. As you can see, when the color is brighter, it means there is more correlation, and when there is darker, it means there is less correlation. So by looking at this figure, you'll see that the maximum correlation happens at different time. For example, for React.js, 17 weeks after people discuss it on Reddit, you will see the highest correlation, that's around 50% with job postings. So we cannot really select only one shift time for all the skills that will correlate Reddit content and job postings. Now we move on to our second question, which has a main goal of understanding whether we can use social content mentioned on social media to understand the future of in-demand skills. So to answer this question, we apply Granger causality tests on each skill in our data set. So just a quick reminder that when we talk about Granger causation, we're not meaning that social media caused any change in the job market. However, we mean that rather than determining whether Reddit helps to understand the future evolution of skills by themselves, we can say that historical information of job postings help to understand it. So by running the Granger causality test, we get a p-value that has to be smaller than a significant level. In here is 5%. So there we can say that past values of Reddit Granger cause future values of job postings. So as we can see here, and also these are just examples, but for all the skills in our data set, they all had the p-value of less than 5%, except for PostgreSQL that was removed from our data set. So we can see that all of them, we can we can conclude our second finding that there's a significant linear functional connectivity between Reddit content and job postings. So we can say that Reddit time series grandeur cause in-demand skills in job postings. Or another way, we can say that it's possible to use online content from community-based social platforms such as Reddit to better understand the temporal changes in job requirements. So we briefly talk about the implications here of our work and our study. So the first implication is for policymakers. So it's really hard to understand the what to learn next questions. It's really frustrating, and we have examples in our paper of why that's really hard. So that this will helps the a lot of academic institutions or policymakers to actually identify the in-demand skills with access to large scale and appropriate data that can actually help them to develop tools to help new grads and job seekers. The second implication is for job applicants. So it's job applicants are required to be fast learners in the knowledge economy. So this actually help them along with other works in the CSCW community to help them rely on their social circles to smooth their learning curve. And the third one is for hiring manager that help them to also not only for job seekers but also for hiring managers to get access to online communities to answer their recruiting questions. With that, we thank you for your time, and please check our paper for more information.